In question 12, A, we're asked to expand and simplify, and that means multiply out these double brackets. So my preferred method for doing this is to use a grid, double grid, because we've got two terms in each bracket. You've got an x and a plus 7, and you've got an x and a plus 2. And you're going to multiply those terms together. So x times x gives you x squared, x times 7 gives you positive 7x, x times 2 plus 2x, and 2 times 7 is 14. Now you collect all that together, you've got x squared plus 7x plus 2x plus 14. Everything's positive, nothing's difficult. You've got x squared, 7 plus 2 is 9, so plus 9x, and then plus 14. So you've got this quadratic expression at the end of multiplying double brackets, which is what you're always going to get. Slight variations on them sometimes, but you get 3 parts. That's generally what you're going to tend to get. Part B, you've got to factorise this completely. And to do that, you're going to need to be thinking of the highest common factor of the numbers and the letters that you can take out on the outside of some brackets, because factorising means putting brackets back in. This one, we've got a 2 is the highest common factor of 2 and 6. You could list that out, but you should really know that if you're doing a higher paper. You've got x times you've got x times x here, and you've got an x here, so you can take a factor of x out, and that's it. That's the only things that are in common you can take out. So you open up a bracket, and the first thing that needs to be in the bracket is an x, and that is because 2x multiplied by x gives you 2x squared. All right, you're thinking about what needs to be here in order to make that expression, or that part of the expression, I should say, so that term. You've then got your minus, which you're going to chuck into the bracket, because you've got everything positive on the outside, so it's going to have to be negative on the inside to make the negative term here. 2 times by what makes 6? 3. And then x is already there on the outside, so we don't need to multiply by an x, we just need to multiply by a y. So that's the thing that needs to be on the inside to make we can close the bracket, because we've made, by multiplying this by this term, and this by this term. So 2x minus 3y is the factorised expression. And in part C, we've got to solve this, right? Well, what we should be recognising here is this is an x squared term again, right? But this time we can make this a quadratic expression like the first one that we had up here, 3 parts to it, ax squared plus bx plus c, right? That's the general form for a quadratic expression. You've got, get rid of the 24 on this side because we have to solve, all right? And to solve it, the quadratic expression needs to be equal to 0. So x squared plus 5x and minus 24, take away 24 from both sides, you can get minus 24 on this side, equals nothing, right? Now that is the first step towards solving this quadratic equation as it is now, because we've made it equal to nothing. We open up some double brackets, right? It's effectively, we're working this backwards, right? We're trying to work out what these numbers are in the brackets, and we can put an x in both because an x times an x makes an x squared, right? One's going to be positive and one's going to be negative because we've got a negative constant, all right? So let's think about the factors of the constant, the number 24 at the end there, that are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6, and that's it. So there's our factors of 24. If we list those factors, we're going to find a pair of factors that multiply to make minus 24, but add to make positive 5. And I can see that it's 3 and 8 have got a difference of 5. Now, if you make one negative, because one has to be negative, it's going to be the 3, because 8 plus minus 3 is 8 minus 3. 8 minus 3 is 5, the coefficient of the x term. That's what we need to find. That's what it's made. So we found that minus 3 goes in there, and then a positive 8 goes in there. And that equals nothing, right? So the next step is to solve it. Well, it's a really simple solve, this one. Something minus 3 equals nothing. So ignore this bracket for a second. Something minus 3 equals nothing. So that has to be x equals 3, or in this case, something plus 8 equals nothing is going to have to be minus 8. So the solutions are 3 or minus 8. X equals 3 or minus 8. There's the two solutions, two potential solutions.